Welcome back, everyone. I am very excited to be recording this review for the new Monster High Skullector doll, River Styxx. This just released actually, I think like a week ago, and it showed up to my house the following week, so they shipped out pretty fast. I think they're still shipping this doll out, so if you haven't received her, hopefully you'll get that shipping confirmation soon. They shipped this out maybe like the day after I bought her, so very grateful to have gotten her so fast. Although this was a Mattel Creations exclusive, you did not necessarily need the fan club membership to get her. There were 2 public releases. However, the fan club one lasted for at least an hour. I was there when she dropped and was able to buy her fairly easily. And then, I just checked back into the Reddit and she was still there an hour later. The 2 public drops, though, sold out in minutes, and a lot of people were very upset they didn't get her. So it's very interesting how these drops are going now. It seems like they allocated a lot more stock to the fan club this time around versus the public drop. And I'm sure there were a ton of bots and scalpers buying her as well, and that's probably why she sold out so fast. Nevertheless, I am happy to have her. There are some issues with her that I will mention towards the end, or as I unbox her, we'll see. Here she is inside the box. This is a Skullector that I'm not leaving in her box though. Her box is interestingly shaped. I do actually like this stained glass window design at the top. It's holographic and glittery. The bottom doesn't have it. The bottom's just normal, solid black. The box itself is shaped like a trapezoid, which I think would help if you're an inbox collector displaying her, because you could push her to the back of the shelf and she wouldn't take up as much room because of this shape. The sides of the box have photographs of the doll itself, the stock photos that were used, much better lighting than the initial leaks. And then this side has a little saying. It says, "Time is running out. An RSVP to the afterlife party of the millennia. Come to an off-the-site soiree that will make even dedicated remains rise from the dead. Desiccated apologies." That was kind of hard to read. River Styxx just got her scythe, which means this RIP Reaper in preparation is graduating to full-on Reaper status. Watch out, Underworld. There's a new transporter of souls in town, and she's giving scarily stylish specter. Because who says voyaging to the afterlife can't be fun? Celebrate River in your most well-executed lurks, and prepare to dance until your bones rattle. Cover charge, 1 coin for boat fare to and from the Skullector. Souls as well as ghosts are invited. And then it has her name at the bottom. So overall, I do like that. I like that there's a story behind her current look. I think it makes perfect sense. For anyone unfamiliar, River Styxx is I think G2 character. If not, she was towards the end of G1, part of the Haunted line that got a movie. She had a very interesting look. The daughter of, I can't remember the official name of the monster, but she's based on the god of death that is supposed to help souls pass through the afterlife through the River Styxx. But she had a very pastel color theme. I myself didn't really like it. But she did look cool, and she did not have a scythe. Her gimmick was, obviously she's young. She hasn't fully gotten her role into being the Grim Reaper or whatever. If I had to guess, it was probably to make sure parents didn't complain, because Monster High was already getting a lot of complaints about, the imagery and stuff with some of these themes. And she basically represents death. But this time around, she has her scythe. And based on the story, it's because she finally graduated. So that's really neat and cool. And I love that, first of all, she's primarily black. That's the main reason I got her, because I myself was not a fan of her original look, which was very pastel. But I love that she immediately switched to kind of this darker theme once she graduated, but she still has her original hair and some aspects of her original color scheme. So that's really cool. Her pose inside the box is her floating in this party. You can see a lot of party imagery in the background. Now, I think it's more or less confirmed this was used with AI was used to create this image in the back. You can kind of see some tells, like these hourglass banisters missing in the back, and some other just weird coloring choices. So this box will be going in the garbage. I have no desire to keep it, partly because it's AI and also just because it's huge and I don't have space for this. This box in general just pisses me off. So it comes with a gimmick. There's a giant hourglass on the right that has glitter embedded in it. This is not a separate piece. It's literally plastic glued to the box. So if you're an inbox collector, this will stay. That's what it does. But everyone, or I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people, including myself, thought this was really stupid because it took budget away from the doll itself. And even if I were an inbox collector, when would I ever tip this? You have to tip the whole box just to make that move. It doesn't make sense to me. In a collector doll, maybe if I was a child and this was a Playline doll, that would be kind of cool. I would still find it kind of stupid though, because it's, again, attached to the box. It's not something I can take out. It's just trash. That's essentially what it is. Once I open her and throw the box out, this is just trash. I will say though, when I got her, it was kind of a nice fidget toy. But yeah, that glitter just doesn't work very well for its intended purpose. It's not slow moving like sand, so it just falls pretty fast. So overall, yes, I hate the box. Let's go ahead and let me unbox her so I can actually critique the doll. The whole thing with the box is extra frustrating when you realize that there was an actual artist that designed her, and she created artwork of the full design that they could have easily used on the box, and they just didn't. Just nothing but stock photos and AI generated artwork, but okay. I don't think I said how much she was. She was $90, which is primarily why a lot of people are very critical of this AI usage and this weird gimmick. Yeah, it's literally just something that they glued to the box. Like, do you want me to cut this image out? Even if I do, it's not going to come out clean because, first of all, it's flat. There's nowhere for me really to fold it and make it stand up to make it of an actual hourglass. It's such a baffling decision. I feel like someone should have vetoed this idea in the drawing board. Okay, on the back, she does come with a certificate of authenticity. It's very simple. It just says, this certifies that your Monster High River Styxx doll materialized through the collaborative efforts of designers and artists at Mattel. For anyone wanting a closer look, here is what the back of her box fully looks like. And yeah, I don't know what I want to do with this. Probably just throw it away. It's such a waste of glitter. I might just pull that out and put it in a little baggie for future crafting or something. Alright, here is River Styxx out of her box. She had a lot of little tabs, I guess, what you call them, the really small ones, attaching her cloak to the blister. So just be very careful. Try not to pull her out prematurely. Make sure you really cut those off. She had a ton around her hood. So just be careful. They were the tiny ones, so you don't really notice when you cut them off, which is good. I'm still not a fan that they do that, but I understand why. Alright, but here's what she looks like. She is very pretty. I do see the issue that everyone complained about when she was leaked, and her stock photos came out. Her mouth does not align with the skeleton lines. It's really weird looking. Mine isn't that bad, I think. I think the stock photos made it look a lot worse. And on the box itself, it's really funny. That's not seen. Like, if you look at the box with her stock photos, and it looks more like, you know, her mouth aligns with her actual mouth, the sculpting of her mouth. It's just that her lips, assuming she has muscles, are curving upward just a little bit. These are supposed to align with the skeleton under her face. And teeth don't move regardless if you're smiling or not. I was initially going to fix this, erase the lines and draw over them appropriately, or fix her lipstick really, but I think I might just leave it. It doesn't bother me in person too much. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, so it's fine for me at least. I know a lot of people that really bothered them, but yeah, that allows me to talk about her gimmick. So not only did River Styxx not have a skeleton under her face in the original doll, she was part of the Haunted line, which all the dolls in that line were kind of not clear, but made in a way that looked like they were. They were not very shaded, very ghostly. The skin tone of the plastic for their bodies was very ghostly. And originally, from what Mattel employees and designers had said in previous interviews, they wanted to do this for River Styxx originally, but it was too expensive. Then they used the gimmick for Symphony in one of the collab dolls that was really expensive, and I never ended up buying. It looked really cool on that doll, and I'm glad that they released this River, because I thought about buying that other doll just for that gimmick because it looked so cool, but I just wasn't a fan of those dolls and their outfits. I much prefer this. This is like the first truly black, dark themed doll that Monster High has done in a minute, and I love it. Even though I wasn't like a huge fan of River in the original. Now, I will say her screening is really pretty. I almost wish she had her original lipstick so that it would pop and match with her hair. In her original doll, I believe she had like a pale blue lipstick. I think it would have done wonders for her face right here. Here's another look at that little skull inside the plastic. So her face is pretty squishy because I'm assuming it's made of a more rubber plastic. And then underneath is the actual solid plastic skull. So that's super cool. I don't know what that's going to do as far as over time. Is her face going to fade a certain color or something? I don't know. But right now it looks amazing, especially in person. I feel like the camera is not doing her justice. Her hairstyle is pretty simple, but I like how kind of mildly Greek it is. It's like the long hair with a little bit of a bang tucked in there, and then the headband. There is some detail in the sculpt, but it's not painted. So I may paint that later. I'll have to decide on the color. It's got some laurels, and then the little medallion in front of her face. Really pretty. She's got some thick eyebrows. I don't know if I like that. Her original doll didn't have that, and I've seen some complaints about that too. They just look a little weird to me. They're just there. They're so thick. But moving on. She's got earrings that also are reminiscent of some Greek jewelry, or just like a medallion. Oh, is this the medallion, or not the medallion? The coin you need to actually cross the river with her. That's so cute. So she's got those as earrings on both sides. Super cute. And this part of her hair is pretty gelled, but once you comb it over, I think it'll be fine. Her hair is pretty long, and outside of her bang, this doesn't feel like it's really gelled. It's quite soft. It's really long. I'm sure if you comb and boil wash it, it'll look so pretty. It's pale blue, or like a sky blue, with some pink streaks and then a purple streak as well. Super pretty. I love that color combination. It's like cotton candy. Obviously you can tell she has this amazing cloak, I will say. It's got this shimmery fabric underneath a layer of sheer lace. It kind of reminds me of, I want to say they've used this with, was it Morticia maybe? I don't know, but I know that I've seen this fabric before. And like I said, underneath is this very iridescent fabric. I'm hoping this is not the type of fabric that chips over time, like the faux leather does, because it kind of reminds me of that. But it is, well, I wouldn't say it's lined. It's at least hemmed, because they had to sew this trim of lace that looks very cute. I'm really happy that they at least hemmed it like that. And there is some lace trim, because if it was just the cloak by itself, I don't think it would have had the impact as much. This cloak does connect to some sleeves that she has. They're kind of short. I like that, actually. That's kind of cute. And then it has this, is it a bell sleeve, or is it just like a connector piece? It's kind of weird. So it's got a sleeve, but then it has this back piece that's connected to her shoulder that acts as like a flowing sleeve. But why not just make a bell sleeve? I don't know, that's weird. Now this part is not is not hemmed, it's just cut. So with this type of fabric, I don't know if that's going to fray over time. Time will tell. Then she has her translucent hands with a sculpt of skeleton palms. It doesn't go all the way to her fingers, and I do understand why. They're very thin. I don't think they could have pulled that off. She's got the smallest bit of little chain bracelet. They're so tiny. I kind of wish they were longer. They are, I don't want to say black. It's like a really dark blue, not fully black. I do think that was pretty smart. So that it still pops in the middle of all this black. And then yeah, her little sleeve is connected to her wrist through this elastic. And then she has a ribbon on the chains, which I think is cute. I kind of wish they hadn't included it for her scythe because it just pops quite a bit, and I'll talk about it when I get to that. But this is cute, and it does match the rest of her, like her body plastic with this purple. But yeah, those are her sleeves. Let's move on to the next sleeve. Same thing on this side. But she also has this cool hourglass, and it does work a lot better than that gaudy glitter thing that she came with in the box. I just don't get it. If you already had a working hourglass, why did you include that in the box? Super baffling. Yeah, super cool, and it turns in the... like it turns on its own. You don't need to flip her or anything. That's so cool. See, this is ingenious. And it's got some embellishments and filigree on the part that hangs from her wrist. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming this is supposed to hang from her wrist, but right now it's attached with a little elastic. Maybe to look like it's floating. That's cool. And then she's got the chains here again and her ribbon. Moving down to her torso, she's got this metallic purple rib cage with some chain sculpting at the bottom. I almost want to take this off just to see what it looks like. But it's attached through elastic. I would hope this attaches by itself without the elastic, otherwise how would you... like once you take that off, you can't put it back on. Underneath that, it looks like there's a blue glitter / shimmery top sewed to this skirt. Or this, oh no, it's two pieces. So the skirt's a separate piece. That's great. Oh, I got it. It's a bodysuit. Or not a bodysuit. I'm blanking. But this is the bottom of that. And that is a separate piece from this skirt. The skirt, I would say, is my only issue with her doll-wise. If we throw away the box stuff, this is really my only issue with her design. It looks very cheap, and multiple people have pointed out on social media, and I will point it out here as well, they have been using this tulle technique for multiple dolls, and it always looks really cheap, and I wish they would stop. Why did this not go down a little bit further and maybe put 2 layers of tulle in the bottom? Because as it is now, oh, there is a layer of the skirt underneath, but it doesn't even go halfway down. It just looks so stupid. And it's just cut. It's not hemmed. I do like the way it's pleated though. It's cool. It just looks fairly cheap because it's 1 layer of tulle. Like it's half finished. I may sew some trim or something on this because it really bothers me right now. I also just think they should have incorporated the purple down here as well. I know her legs kind of break that up, but still. Speaking of her legs, they also have the skull or a skeleton inside. People have already taken off her outfit, and we do see that her torso doesn't have any skeleton inside of it, which is kind of a disappointment. But at least in her legs, you can see the skeleton underneath. Really cool. Her femur and all that. And then her shoes, I guess you could call them object heels, but the fact that they're the same object on both shoes and they match her outfit so well. It's just a bunch of skeleton motifs and some what looks like Greek architecture details. Here you can see it looks like a rib cage is her heel. It's got some chains. This to me looks like bones, like the bones on the palm of your hand. And then the bottom, it's kind of hard to tell. I honestly can't tell what that is. Oh, more architecture? I think. It's so cool. It looks like a column. Yeah, like the top of a column. But those are so cool. And then if you put her cloak on her head, there is a space for her hair to be on the back. Her cloak is super long too. It looks ethereal. It's really cool. This is more or less what I wanted Lenore to be. I ended up not buying her and then I lost my shot. But I'm glad I didn't because this is what this is the ghostly energy I wanted Lenore to have. And she just didn't. Outside of the skirt, I think this doll is amazing. She comes outside of her hourglass. She does come with her scythe accessory. It's quite long, but it is extremely detailed and it's amazing looking. It's also, I want to say, it's probably painted black with an undertone of blue. Like her black plastic pieces are not fully black, which I think works really well for her color scheme. You can see the hint of blue they did for the base. Or maybe they did the opposite. They painted the base black and then went over it with like a navy blue. But you can see the scythe itself is kind of in this twisted wood texture with these purple chains going around. And then her ribbon. This is really cool. I love how, because of the texturing on the plastic, the actual blade part of her scythe looks like a different color. But as I was saying earlier, this is the only thing that kind of bothers me. I don't know if this was the actual color of her original doll, this kind of pastel purple. But I wish they had changed it to match her skin tone or these ribbons, because right now it really sticks out. And it does bother me a little bit. So I may repaint the ribbon. Can you take it off? Oh, you can take it off. So you can take this part, or actually, it has an attachment point, but I don't know if you can take that off. I don't want to risk it and break it, so I'll just leave that alone. But here you can see where they put this piece together, and it looks like the ribbon is attached to the chains as well. And then it also has a hoop in the back so that she can hold it. Slide her hand through it. So cool. Now, the only thing I hate right now is she comes with this crotch stand. And to the person who tried to help me use this, I do appreciate it. It did not work. I hate these stands for a reason. They're just not efficient. The way I like to display my dolls as well, it just doesn't adapt well to it. I like mine to have like spread legs, legs flowing in the air, one lifted, the other one not. You can't do that with these stands because both of their thighs have to be in this. And you can't do that with certain poses. I don't like how limiting that is. So I still hate these. I'm not going to use it. I have other stands that I can put River on. But for the sake of this review, I will put it on. There it is. And if I didn't mention it, River is on the little sister body. So she's smaller than the regular G1 dolls. Oh, this actually works kind of well. So why did this not work on the other dolls? I don't know why. She's pretty on there, actually. I still don't like it, though. Like, I want to pose her... See? See? That doesn't make sense. I want to pose her flying in the air because she's a ghost. But you can't do that with this stupid stand. Unless you just do this. But that looks stupid. It's just very limiting. I don't like it. I was never attached to her original character. I was primarily a webisode watcher. I didn't watch any of the movies, so I don't know the story that goes along with River's character in the Haunted movie. But I can appreciate her in this iteration. She is gorgeous. If you were thinking about her and then missed out, I mean, as much as it sucks to buy from a reseller, I do think she is worth. That's the thing too. I know a lot of people hated the $90 price tag, and I get why, but honestly, with how much stuff is part of her design, I kind of think she's worth it. Now, could she have been cheaper if they hadn't done that box stuff? Absolutely. But I think the doll herself is amazing. And in person, a lot of the issues people had with her face, I just don't notice. Like in person, her screening is actually quite pretty. I don't really notice this really weird blotch of bright purple on her nose. It's just not that noticeable, because I thought that would bother me. But yeah, a lot of the things that I thought would bother me about her screening just don't in person. I think mine is pretty well aligned. Well, I guess the eyebrows are still kind of weird, but other than that, she's beautiful. One thing I forgot to mention is she does have a choker, and it looks like this tool goes all the way up. Okay, here's a look at her undersuit, her bodysuit thing. Leotard, that was the word I meant to say earlier. Here's a look at her leotard. It's this shimmery fabric. Now, I will say, this does feel like the type of fabric that over time will chip. So overall, her outfit consists of a lot of holographic and shiny pieces that I think will wear over time. But we'll see when we get to that. Here's her skeleton legs. I wonder if you can... No. This is pretty on there, so we can't see, you know, the fact that her torso doesn't have the skeleton parts. But yeah, everything was held with elastic. I didn't want to take her completely apart. But you can kind of tell it's a bodysuit that goes up to her chest, and then it's got this little tool under it. Same tool as her skirt, which is this piece. So you can kind of see it's the same kind. But yeah, I'm at least happy she has something under the skirt. I wish, honestly, I think she needs some mid-thigh leggings or something. I might make those for her. I think they'd look really cute. The bare legs, I don't know, just feel like her outfit's not complete. Alright everyone, that is my review for the new Monster High Skullector River Styxx doll. Again, I still have issues with the box. This is going straight in the garbage as soon as I'm done with this video. But the doll itself is beautiful. I love her, and I'm excited to put her on my shelf. There's definitely gimmicks with these Monster High designers that you see over and over and just get tiring, but I think this one, even though she was kind of... When I first saw her stock photos, I thought she looked kind of crazy. She had a lot of really edgy elements put together that just made her look like someone's 13-year-old OC, but now that I see her in person, I think they do mesh very well. I don't know what it is about the photography and the way they market these dolls. They just look so stupid in the stock photos, but when you get them in person, they actually, you know, start to make a little sense. I'll repaint what I want to repaint. I'll adjust part of her outfit that I want to adjust. I do still think the whole tulle skirt thing needs to stop. They've done this multiple times with dolls. I'm sure it's a cost-cutting measure. Tulle's probably not that expensive. But it just looks so cheap. And with how excellent the rest of this doll is, they really should have just not done that. I think her skirt could have looked a lot better, but I'll fix that if I want, if it bothers me enough. But as I said, I really love her. I'm happy that I was able to get her. I'm really glad I went with the fan club drop, because I was tempted to just wait it out. Because in my mind, the fan club drop is usually the most competitive one, since in the past they haven't had as much stock and it tends to sell out really quickly. So the fact that this time around it was the longest lasting drop, I'm really glad that I went with it. And I'm happy to see that, considering we're paying for the chance to get these dolls, we're getting more of an opportunity to actually get the doll. But that's all I have. Thank you so much for... But that's all I have. I don't really have anything to say as far as the shipping. Mattel ships all their dolls the same way in very sturdy boxes cut to the size of the actual doll. Mine came the same way, wrapped in white tissue paper. Very nice presentation. And that's really all I had to say. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.